It's like if he thought that the Marines were making like an establishment of like a rule that would like increase evil, he would want to fight against that, right?
I mean, increase evil, then once again, right? Then I think that there's a problem, right? If you're saying that if Garp would, because the whole thing, if you remember, right, the point we're really talking about is Sengoku and Garp ending up fighting over a decision. If you're saying that this decision would increase evil, do you genuinely, like, if we're dying, like, no dishonesty here, genuinely believe Sengoku is going to vouch for a rule or a actual decision that's going to increase evil?
Well, Sengoku is a very logical person, right? So I think that the decisions that Sengoku makes could have a better effect in the long run that he may believe may be better for the Navy, but may not necessarily be better for the average citizen. So I think that
So you think Sengoku would rather the Marines benefit as an establishment than actually bring justice to evil?
yeah, absolutely.
I
Sengoku?
mean, okay,
Totally, man.
I would need evidence for that. Like
What
why
evidence
that
that Sengoku specifically is someone who like cares about the Navy
like
more
that
than the average person?
would weigh the Marines and the Marines' reputation over actually providing justice
I mean,
to the people.
look what happened at Marineford. I mean, he was so concerned with getting Whitebeard dead that he sacrificed half of the island and the people who were living there.
I mean, they evacuated the people.
Think about this
Oh,
logically,
sorry.
Sakazuki.
Think of it, Chapter Zero, when they were fighting Shiki. People were still on that island. Half of it was destroyed. And, like,
Wait,
all
what?
those Navy men were dead.
Still on the island.
Yeah, there were people on the island, because the Marines were being killed one by one by Shiki. He stood on a pile of, like, 30 of them.
Yeah, Marines. Those aren't the people that lived there necessarily.
Well, yeah, but half of the island was destroyed. You think they had time to, like, evacuate everybody during that fight?
Yes.
I mean, we don't know.
Sure,
Like,
but it wouldn't really make sense, right? Like, they don't have, like, a
I mean,
emergency
you could say the same.
evacuation center.
Right? Let's say, right? We didn't have the context for Marineford, and Marineford just happened. Yeah, since we see the houses, right? You would think that there are people there, but since we have the context, we know that they got evacuated. And since we have evidence in the story that when these big fights happen in Marineford, they evacuate the island, it should be logical to say that they
No. Marineford was an open challenge to Whitebeard, right? They were planning for him. They weren't planning for Shiki. He just showed up.
I mean, how do we know that they? Because we know the Marines have intel. They
I don't know
could
they didn't
know.
plan for Shiki because it was literally like Roger was being executed, which is why Shiki came to save him. You think they would have planned for Shiki to try and save Roger?
No, Roger was already dead.
No.
Yes, Roger was. Yes, his
In
little
Chapter
opening
Zero?
statement was you. Yeah, it was literally yes. It was literally his opening statement when he walked into Marineford was you literally disrespected this man by executing him in a fucking sea, the weakest sea. That was his opening statement.
I don't remember that. What I remember is he was trying to save him.
Because remember, Shiki escaped Impel Down and came straight there. When he came to Marineford, he didn't have his legs.
I don't think he came straight there. Because he went to
did.
Whitebeard's ship.
He came to Whitebeard's ship. Wait. Because he went.
He went to Whitebeard's ship after Chapter Zero.
Wait, hold up.
What are you guys arguing over?
Sengoku. Here we go.
You're saying Goku? What the fuck?
Yeah, Sengoku.
Fuck. What?
Wait, no,
like what aspect of Sengoku?
Shiki did have his legs at Marineford. So he didn't go down.
You guys arguing where he skills? Oh, Sakazuki. Are you guys arguing where he skills?
Oh, okay, wait, never mind. He says weak as the East, blue is a symbol of peace. He will not interfere with the execution.
So
no, he's not dead yet. Yeah, I was right.
Yeah, okay. So he didn't. Okay,
his execution is being scheduled a week from now.
Okay, so
yeah.
So, okay, cool, kid. Okay,
yeah. One piece of knowledge right here.
All right, buddy. I don't.
So yeah, you would have thought like you think they were planning for Shiki to break out his rival out of prison?
Yes, if they have once again the reason like they have intel everywhere. Like they knew Shanks and Kaido interact. They have literal people everywhere, right?
No.
Yes.
No, because we also know that they ended up. Look at there are all these ships here.
What Roger Cap? Like what do you?
Like they had no idea he was on here. Like they were making the announcement, They said the location is Marineford Plaza. How many are there? Like, they had no idea Shiki was here. They had no idea how many people were coming. Like, they had no intel at all on this.
Location, how many are there? I mean, this just shows like this is just random fodder Marines. Just be like, is that really him? This really seems that they're just awestruck that this is like Golden Lion Shiki is there, right? And they're asking
But they had no idea he was there. That's the point.
Shiki was coming, but that doesn't mean they have to like a full knowledge of all the numbers Shiki have. Like has.
No, come on. Is that really your honest interpretation? Is that they just said the location is there? How many are there? Because they're just in shock that it's Shiki.
Because they're announcing it to the whole fucking station, bro. They're like, yeah, like this dude is now here. Like, yeah, sure, they can know this guy is coming, right? That doesn't really mean that they know exactly the exact minute he's approaching. No, they can know that he's coming.
Oh yeah, wait. Impel Down was him being captured after their fight.
Yeah. I don't know. I realized.
Yeah, you're on crack. Okay. Anyway,
but either way, right?
Either way, no, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know where you're getting that from. It really wouldn't make sense for them to like have intel that Shiki was coming and then end up.
It does make sense because it's consistent through the story. The Marines, when these major pirating figures make moves, that the Marines are aware of said moves. Like,
but then they're announcing here like they have no idea what's going on. So obviously they weren't aware.
They don't have no idea what's going on. That's them literally just being like, once again, like I said. Just because they are saying that, oh, now we see how many are there, and then these guys saying, oh, is that really him, right? The panel on the left can just be explained by these random fodder Marines just being like awestruck. Like, it's the same thing in Marineford. They saw Whitebeard and they're like, oh my god, is that the Whitebeard?
Oh, and then because it says intruder alert, and they're like, who is it? How many are there? They had no idea there was someone there.
Yeah, okay, so once again, right, they can be like intruder alert, right? They can know Shiki is approaching.
No.
Right? Same with Whitebeard, right? Okay, so once again, right, they knew Whitebeard was coming, but they didn't know from where. They didn't know when, right? So they were just waiting. They were waiting, and he approached.
He walked in the front gate, and they asked, how many are there? They had no idea he was coming.
Into the bay. Like, once again, they didn't know Whitebeard was going to pull up with all 50 million of his subordinates. No. Like, they weren't sure. All they knew was Whitebeard is coming.
Look at this announcement. Just one. It's Golden Lion. Do you think that exclamation makes sense if they expected him?
Like, they're announcing it on a loudspeaker.
No. They are not. That is them talking to each other.
Enunciate because it's a manga, right? They can't really show the voice.
Sakazuki. They are literally it's saying just one. It's ... Golden Lion. They are not expecting him, right? That is the tone of surprise.
Ellipses can be used to build suspense.
I don't know. You can't be serious.
And the exclamation points can.
Yeah. Do you understand the argument you're making now?
Can be used.
Read the sentence out loud. Read the sentence out loud.
Just one. It's Golden Lion Shiki.
No. Use the punctuation properly and read it out loud.
Okay. Just one. It's Golden Lion.
You're not slick, bro.
Exactly.
You're not slick, bro.
Hold on.
Got your ass lacking, bitch.
Why are you speaking to me like that, son? I gotta beat your ass.
The bitch ass on moose. I know you was gonna
slap you with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, Beak. I gotta do a double backflip on top of your grandmother's grave.
That bitch ass on, bro. You was tyrant of Blox Fruits, nigga. You was a tyrant of Blox Fruits, nigga. Such a stupid ass on, bro.
Yeah, I own you in Blox Fruits.
Nigga,
Beak, why don't you settle a discussion for us, okay?
Alright.
So in chat, it says, intruder alert, the location is the Marineford Plaza. How many are there? Just one. It's Golden Lion. Do you think they were expecting him?
No, they weren't expecting him.
Thank you.
Bro, okay, because once again, Moose, you're getting that opinion from someone who isn't aware, right? Now, Peak. Now, if you're now aware that this is the Marines, right? And the Marines within this show are consistently shown to have knowledge of the movements and the location and big movements.
Oh, I know what One Piece is, bro.
Yeah.
So
the Marines are aware of these big movements by these pirating figures, right? And we know Golden Lion Shiki is one of the biggest pirates within this fucking whole show, right? Then the Marines since it's consistent for them to know these big movements, they would know that, yes, Golden Lion Shiki is coming, but obviously they won't know the exact time and location. Just like with Marineford, they were expecting Whitebeard to come, right? But they didn't know exactly when and where.
What about Shanks? What about Shanks? What about Shanks? What about Shanks?
What about Shanks? Once again, they knew that Shanks and Kaido interacted.
No, they didn't. No,
yes,
they didn't know he was coming. They didn't know he was coming.
Bro, okay. So with Shanks,
what did that have to do with him coming though?
Yeah, so let me explain that to you, right? So when you have them, yes, they understood that Shanks and Kaido were interacting, but then they didn't know Shanks was coming because the entirety of the Marines are focused on the fucking battle that was going to literally stated to change the course of history, right? They are literally focused on this battle. The higher command of the Marines, the admirals, the fleet admiral, all of the vice admirals were all at Marineford. So yes, they were not aware that Shanks was coming because they were already engaged within a war. That can just be simply put out as an outlier and cannot be attributed for extra likelihood to the fact of why they would be aware.
That's crazy in the head.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Sakazuki. That argument does not work.
It does.
That's crazy in the head, but you just sound like a sicko. But I'll explain to you why it doesn't work, bro. Think about it like this. You're literally you're basing an assumption off another assumption, bro. You're literally just doing assumptions on top of assumptions. It's not even like, oh, you're literally basing it off of, these guys know everything that's going on. They know everything that's going on. Just because they know, one scenario, what was happening in one scenario doesn't mean that they're gonna know everything else.
Okay, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, so once again, so this is Peak. You didn't really understand what I was saying. Okay, yeah, I outlined Shanks and Kaido's one interaction. One example of the Marines knowing about pirating figures doing certain things. But once again, the Marines were aware of Kaido and Big Mom becoming an alliance. They are aware of what happened in Whole Cake Island. They are aware of all these major pirating news. They're aware of all these things. It's consistent for the Marines to be aware of all these things. I'm not making an assumption. It's something evident within the story. Now, once again, the example you presented of them not being aware of something was Shanks pulling up to Marineford, right? In which I explained to you, this can be explained and basically cast as an outlier via the fact that Shanks pulled up in the midst of the literal entire higher command of the Marines being engulfed in a war that is literally stated to be history changing. Now, if that's the case, right, there's no reason for us to believe that the Marines who are this engulfed in this war would be aware of other pirates' movements when they are this focused on fighting a Yonko, one of the emperors of the sea, at that current moment. So that's not applicable to the situation with Shiki, where they're not currently in a fight with any other Yonko. They're not in a fight with any other emperor. They're not in a fight with any other pirating figure. They're just sort of there, and Shiki pulls up.
I can't cap to you, bro. I did not listen to that shit. I just stopped caring.
Alright, that's fine.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Oh, bro.
How about this?
Cool.
We agree to disagree, okay?
Alright, Moose.
Moose is always with that. I agree to disagree.
Well,
that's your favorite catchphrase.
Yeah, I think it's a good catchphrase.
Moose didn't say I would agree to disagree with Abraham.
True. He's black. We don't do that with those people.